Good afternoon. There's some breaking news when it comes to Scotland. I thought it was time to get ramped up and ready for the World Cup. Are you looking forward to the World Cup? Bit of breaking news this afternoon regards the Scotland manager's job.
Right, we've got some breaking news. I've got very little information, I've got to admit it, but it will be good news for Scotland because Steve Clarke has signed a new contract. His contract was due to end at the end of the World Cup this summer. However, he is staying, and there you have it. It's until 2030, so until the end of the next World Cup. In that time, Scotland will hope to have success this summer, and in 2 summers' time, go to the Euros, and then, of course, in 2030, another World Cup. But that's great news for Scotland fans because Steve Clarke has been brilliant for them. New contract until 2030.
That's pretty massive.
Right, we've got some
when it comes to Scotland, isn't it? It's pretty impressive by Steve Clarke. It's got to say, Steve Clarke does have an impressive record as Scotland manager, whether you like him as the manager or not. Did you know that there was a manager that managed Scotland twice? It was one of those crazy things that I never knew. I'm going to run through the Scotland managers. Back in 1954, it was Andy Beattie. In 1954 till 1958, it was Dawson Walker. Matt Busby, 1958, Andy Beattie. Again, at 1959 to 1960. Ian McCall, 1960 to 1965. Jock Stein. I never knew that. I never knew that Jock Stein was the Scotland manager back in 1965 and 1966 season. John Prentice in 1966. Malcolm MacDonald, 1966-67. Bobby Brown, 1967 to 1961. Tommy Docherty, 1971-72. Willie Osmond, 1973 to 1977. Ali MacLeod, we're all off with Ali's army. We're all off to Argentine when we win the World Cup. Who remembers that song? Show my age, aren't it? That was the first. That was the first World Cup that I can remember back in the day, and yes, I was only 6-year-old at the time. Ali's Army, 1977 to 1978. Jock Stein, 1978 to 1995, where Jock Stein sadly passed away in Wales on the pitch. Alex Ferguson then stood in after Jock Stein died. Alex Ferguson was 1985 to 1986. And then it was the turn of Andy Roxburgh, who brought a bit of stability to the Scotland position. He was manager from 1986 to 1993. Craig Bown took over from Andy Roxburgh, 1993 to 2001. Got a good run at it. And then talk about mistakes from Germany. You would think that Scotland would stop making mistakes from Germany, wouldn't they? Yeah. Andy Roxburgh, Craig Bown were then replaced by Bertie Vogts. And an interesting stat. Bertie Vogts. Bertie Vogts, his first win as Scotland manager was on the weekend, the week of my 30th birthday. Because I can remember where we were, because me and my best mate went away, because our birthdays are 3 days apart. We went away to a nice little hotel in Scotland, and we had this little bar bit to ourselves, and it was absolutely fantastic. Just 2 of us, and he got his first win, ill-fated as it was for Bertie Vogts. He was the Scotland manager from 2002 to 2004, and then came Walter Smith. Walter Smith was the manager 2004 to 2007. Alex McLeish was 2007. George Burley got the job after doing well at Hearts, remember? He did fantastically well at Hearts, just good, but not that good. He was the manager from 2008, 2009, and then came a manager that played a Scotland team without a striker. Yes, a manager that played a Scotland team without a striker. We all know who that was. It was Craig Levein, another ex-Hearts manager. And then there was Billy Stark in 2012. Gordon Strachan, 2013 to 2017. Malky Mackay, 2017. What game did Malky Mackay have in charge? Shows you that I wasn't even watching international football in those barren years, because I never knew that Malky Mackay stepped in as Scotland manager. I'll find out how many games in a minute. Alex McLeish came back again 2018, 2019, and then came Stevie Clarke 2019. Stevie Clarke took over as a manager after having success at Kilmarnock in Scottish football, and I think that his biggest bye Rangers comment was probably the one thing that irked a certain fan base so much. So how many games does all these managers had? Matt Busby, 2 games as Scotland manager. I never knew that Matt Busby was a Scotland manager. Jock Stein, his first spell was 8 games in charge, I believe. Ali McLeod, 14 games. Jock Stein, his second spell, 44 games. And then it was Andy Roxburgh, 61 games. Craig Brown, 61 games. Craig Brown, 71 games. Bertie Vogts was 31 games. Tommy Burns was 1 game in charge, was he? I can't remember that. And then we get to Stevie Clarke. Stevie Clarke's sitting on 76 games for Scotland. When it, yeah, Craig Levein with his famous 6-4-0. Yeah, and he expected Scotland to get a result. The 62-year-old Stevie Clarke, 62-year-old, 11, 12 years younger than the current Celtic manager. Well, the old guys doing it well in Scotland, aren't they? 62-year-old was out of contract this summer. He's led Scotland to 3 major tournaments. He also holds the record for most matches managed by a manager of Scotland, with 76. Scotland began their World Cup campaign with against Haiti. I was going to say Haiti there. Haiti on June the 14th, before they then play Morocco and Brazil. And that'll be it. Out. They'll not just be out, they'll be out. They may get a result against Haiti, and yeah, not looking forward to that. Anyway, following this summer's tournament, Clarke hoped to lead Scotland to the UK and Ireland co-host 2028 Euros in a few years' time. Clarke says on signing the new 4-year deal, he says, "I'm truly honoured to lead my squad into our first Men's World Cup in 28 years. I'm proud to continue as head coach. I know the Scottish supporters appreciate the achievements of this group in qualifying for back-to-back Euros, and equally sure that the whole nation will rejoice in our qualification for the World Cup 2026 after such a long time." France 98 seems, God almighty. Don't know, France 98. What a team that was. And the thing is it's weird, because having grown up, and the only time that you really got football when I was a kid on the telly was really Scotland games. And you always, I mean, right from 1978, you got Scotland games, World Cup games on the telly, and it was a big thing. It was massive. It was massive for the country. Stevie Clarke says, "It's very important to look ahead and plan for the future, while my squad will be doing everything in their power to compete and make the country proud in America this summer. It also gives us certainty ahead of the tournament, knowing that we can look to build on those foundations for the long term. It is a privilege to continue in this role." Stability is obviously the key to success in football. There's some clubs have it, some clubs don't. Some international managers manage to stick around for years. It looks like Stevie Clarke is one of those people that, from a Scotland perspective, you've got to say that he's doing the job that he's asked. You know, I think that if Stevie Clarke was to leave, if he wasn't to be given a new contract and they were going to go down a different direction, I don't think that there's anyone out there that would potentially be as good as Scotland manager. You never know. But anyway, Chief Executive Maxwell says we cannot rest on achievements. The Scottish FA chief said in 2019, we appointed Clarke on behalf of the board. I am delighted that we have agreed with Stevie to continue as men's head coach. His record speaks for itself. 3 finals tournament qualification out of 4, including consecutive Euro finals, and of course, an imminent World Cup. A return after nearly 3 decades. Yes, unbelievable. Beyond that, he's built a squad that the nation has taken to its heart, making the Barclays Hampden a fortress again. Don't call it Barclays Hampden, mate. Just call it Hampden. I know that you sold out and you sold the rights and you need to make some money back, but never call it Barclays Hampden. Barclays is a bank that screws people over. Just saying. During the discussions about the future, we were all agreed that we cannot rest on the achievements or ever take qualification for granted. The passion and enthusiasm, by Stevie Clarke. Those must be fantastic conversations. Absolutely fantastic conversations. Anyway, that is the big news when it comes to Scotland this afternoon. This is all about just getting this channel warmed up for the Scotland matches and other World Cup matches. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do, because we're going to be doing a pretty epic World Cup watch along stuff. Anyway, thank you everyone who has been on this. Thank you if you've been commenting, and I shall see you on the next one. We're not too far off from the World Cup now, are you? Who do you think will win the World Cup? Tell me in the comment section.